went to go look for my silly glasses and yeah,
Yeah,
look at you,
welcome.
Rock.
Everyone to the Shift Happens show.
Welcome. April Fool's
Welcome.
Day.
April Fools.
Yeah. Did you
Let
get
me just turn
pranked?
this up. I did not. So, okay, let me just rewind a little bit here because, first of all, welcome everyone to season 8 of the Shift Happens show. It's season 8, finally. Now, we were going to officially start season 8 just a couple days before Valentine's Day. So I was all excited. I'm like, oh, Valentine's Day is going to be so fun. I had to go get like some fun little glasses and do the things and have like the hard eyes. And so I didn't get a chance to wear them.
Well,
So
I'm happy
then
you found
we're
a
like,
good reason to wear them today.
exactly.
I
I was
looked,
like,
I have funny glasses and I couldn't find them. I think my grandsons were playing with them and that's good. It's fun, but
right?
I feel
What do
like
you
I
do?
missed the memo or something.
Do you have like the spring eyes? Like what kind of glasses are they?
Yeah, the boing boing boing, those ones. And then there's some other ones that have like as you move your head, it changes the eyes and they're big eyes and it looks a little bit
Like they're the
freaky.
hologram kind of looking
Yes,
ones?
yes, those kind, yes.
Cool. That is
Yeah,
so
fun.
cool, right? Just wanted something fun. So that's the intro. No, that's like right.
Yeah, season 8. Can you believe it, Cari?
I cannot believe it. I got my Facebook memory today and I haven't really been on Facebook. I've been running around doing the things today. And I looked at Facebook memories, like popped up, and believe it or not, we actually had a show last year. We were doing shift talks or talking shifts. So that was our show last year, and we started it on April 2nd. And I think it was our season 3 or something. So yeah,
We're rocking it.
been going. Like it's been crazy and I love it. Like it's just so
Yeah, it's fun.
fun. So here we are. Dina's like, what are we gonna do for the beginning of season 8? And I said, well, we're booked April 1st, so we gotta do April Fool's Day.
April
So
Fools,
hence
yeah. So let's jump right into that
April
first
Fool's
and then
Day.
back up and find out like what's been going on with
What's been going on?
our
Absolutely, let's
lives.
do that.
Okay, so did
So
you get pranked at all today, Cari?
I did not get pranked at all today. The only thing that I sort of saw was just on Facebook, people were kind of pranking each other. And probably the most popular prank that was running around was that people had posted there are 5 things that you can do or 10 things that you can do to prevent you from being like, gotten on April 1st, like April Fool's Day. How do you prevent these things, right? And then they go number 1, and it's like ... see more. And so you want to click
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that one.
alien,
Yeah.
haha, right? So that was cute. That's what I saw. And I saw a couple of variations of that sort of same thing, like, oh, whatever news they had to share. And then it was like ... see more kind of a thing. And it was the same thing. So that was, I think, the most popular prank that was today on social media. I saw one that was posted a couple of days ago. For those who are in the Calgary area, we have a local radio station, Virgin 98.5, and they've got Tyler, Danae, and Fuzzy are their radio hosts. And Fuzzy had posted, like, he got a letter from the court saying that Maynard's had, this was a letter from Maynard suing him for using the name Fuzzy because they have candy called the Peach Fuzzies, right?
Right, Fuzzy Peach,
So
yeah.
Fuzzy Peach. So he had read on air, like, this is the lawsuit that's happening against him. And then yesterday he posted, yeah, we put it into the media and our legal team is going to take care of it, look into that. And then everyone was posting like they were mad. They're like, no, like this is your name. Like, you've had it since 2002. Why are they coming out now? Why are they trying to sue you? All this stuff that was going on. And then, of course, like it was kind of almost a 50-50. So people were like, no, this is a joke. Other people were like, no, there's no,
We're
like, why would they sue you? Like,
not
that's
buying it.
it's so stupid, right? And then, yeah, so it was just a prank, and it was just that, he wasn't getting sued. So, but anyway, so that was kind of interesting because he started a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
You would think
and
that it was more realistic.
more legit, but I don't know if that fits in the rules. Now, I had fun reading through some rules that you found that Google curated
Yeah.
for us, and I always was brought up with that understanding that noon, if you do a prank after 12 noon, the prank's on you. Basically, like you have to do it in the morning. So I'd
Yeah.
heard that. So this is interesting that he built up to this in days prior. So that's kind of a gray area. I guess you could do that.
I don't know. And that's so looking at, okay, well, yeah, let's just go here. I'm going to actually share
Yeah,
these
let's go into
rules
those rules.
that we
That was fun.
found. Share screen. So here we go. Share. Okay. So these were kind of the official rules because I was like, you hear rules growing up, and I think the biggest thing was when we were in school, it was like the noon deadline. And I think it's so like the teachers didn't have to deal with the jokes all day, right? Like it could be a lot. So it was, here we go, the noon deadline. So traditionally stopping at noon, that was kind of the rule, right? So after that was considered the April Fool on themselves, just like you said. So April Fool's Day passed and gone, you're the biggest fool at last. I never even heard of that little rhyme of tradition. So,
No.
so maybe his would be do no harm. So pranks should never cause physical, psychological, or permanent damage to property. Maybe that would even, okay, well, harmless fun. The goal is to make people laugh, not to cause distress or panic. So I guess his would kind of follow under that. What do you think?
I think so. I'm thinking more the time frame right now. And of course, it's tricky when you have a big audience like he would have, because some people will get the memo that this was a joke, this was April Fool's, and how many may have heard it in passing, dropped a comment, had a reaction. Maybe they've even started writing letters to Maynard, the company, and complaining. And, who knows? Because when you have that big an audience and you've done it over that length of time, I think that gets really tricky.
Yeah, unless you are, you send a letter prior to and say, hey, we're going to do this joke. Are you guys okay with that? That may be something to look into if you plan on having, that kind of a company in on your joke. Like, because, you don't know if someone would reach out, go, hey, like, we're really concerned. We love this DJ. We love this and this
Psycho
personality.
super fans.
And all of a sudden, like, and then they get swarmed. But I suppose if people are messaging them, then they could say, look, like, this is only a prank. Don't tell anyone. They could do it on that end, right? But again,
okay. So here's another one with a really big audience that I found interesting.
Okay.
Was WestJet. Did you get the email from WestJet about bare feet being banned on their flights? And there's a video. My Wi-Fi was not great this morning, so I tried to open it and I just gave up, and I'm like, I know it's a prank, but I want to see the video. But
right?
yeah, they're like,
It?
yeah, so how many people, big audience again, we see that. Now it's a little more controlled because you can send the email to follow up on the email to that emailing list. But how many people shot a panic email out to all their friends who are leaving for Hawaii or somewhere? And they're like, oh my God, we have to have real shoes. We can't have bare feet. And
do you think you wear bare feet on an airplane though?
You'd
don't
have
think I
some form of
would.
shoe, but it's like, see, that took me back to my healthcare days where you're supposed to have covered, your toes are supposed to be enclosed in enclosed shoes and all for
Yeah.
sanitary reasons. And so I thought, oh, here we go. Now the airlines are on board. No, not even cute little baby toes. Like what?
Could you imagine? Oh my goodness. You have to have hairy toes in order for you to go bare feet. Maybe there's some specific rules on the barefoot. You can only be barefoot and pregnant on the airplane. Maybe that's a rule. Who knows?
I
Right?
found some
I think
other
they're fun.
April Fool's pranks that I thought were cool. Replacing pictures in picture frames and seeing how long till somebody notices. So I could actually see that happening.
Yeah.
I've changed pictures sometimes in frames, and it's months before they're noticed. So that you might have to leave for a while. But if it's a really obvious one, taking and hiding all their left shoes, like going
Oh,
through
that's a good
their
one.
closet or even the front door, their most commonly worn shoes. Take
Or one
all
of
the
their
left,
socks.
or take one of their socks out of every pair. But if you took all their left shoes and hid them somewhere, I thought that was funny. There's the good old toothpaste Oreo trick, the salt and
The
sugar
sugar.
switch
Yeah.
swap, yeah, and changing the clocks. So moving the clocks ahead like
Oh,
two
that would
hours.
be horrible.
It has to be believable, but also not. We're so close to like
Time
spring
change.
forward and the time change, right? But to change the clocks like by a couple hours or even 20 minutes, that would be really good one. And move it ahead is the best
Yeah,
because
yeah,
then when the
yeah.
person
Don't go
finds it, they're like, oh my God, I just gained half an hour. Moving someone's vehicle from where
Oh,
they parked
yes.
it.
Yes, that's a good one. And it doesn't have to be very far, just
No,
like a block. Not even a block. You can move it like 100 feet and they
they'll
wouldn't
think
even
they're losing
notice.
their
They'll be
mind.
like, oh, it's gone. Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah,
What else?
I thought those were
Okay,
some good
so
ones.
I went and saw my hairdresser this morning, and she pulled a prank on her kids this morning. So what she did was she took the Kraft Dinner cheese mix and she poured it into a cup, and then she poured water into that, stirred it, diluted it, and then she gave it to her kids saying that it was like orange juice. Like, here you go.
Oh,
Here you go. And one of her kids took a sip and was like, ah, like freaked right out and was just like, Mom, this is horrible. Like, kind of like threw it across the room. And she just laughed. And he's like, this is horrible, Mom. How could you do this? And then, of course, they laughed about it. And then her kid said, hey, Mom, can I actually bring some of this to school and prank my friends? So he took some to school as well to be able to prank his friends. I've never even heard of using Kraft Dinner cheese mix like that. That's actually a really good one. So because I've heard the salt and
and sugar swap,
the
yeah.
sugar swap, and then
Taking the light bulbs out of lamps.
yeah, and then there was like short sheeting beds back in the
Mhm.
day. There's like the saran wrap over the toilet bowl. Like those are just
Yeah,
I don't know. Or like you can saran wrap like a doorway. So
yes.
people can't it's got to be a really, really, I don't know, clear
Be a
day. I don't
good
know how you
saran
got to
wrap
do
job.
it, right? Because otherwise
You
you would
know,
be able to kind of see the glare, I think. So you would have to really time something like that. But yeah, we're like on a
something,
screen door. You could,
yeah, something I didn't notice in the rules, which I think should exist in the rules so that you can prove that you're right about this. But there's several pranks, even just in the list that we've come up with, that can create a mess. Who cleans that up? I think it should be the
yes.
prankster, not the pranked,
Yeah.
because the pranked shouldn't be responsible for the
They
mess.
have to
like,
deal with things mentally after.
yeah, they got enough to deal with.
They're traumatized for like a whole year until like April comes up and they're like, I don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
They're done. It's going to take 6 months for them to like overcome the trauma. Well, maybe not that long, maybe like a month, but who knows? I mean,
So-
there's some really interesting pranks out there that can actually, cause mental trauma like that. If someone plays a really, really deep type of, prank. Well, you hear like the funny ones of like pretending like you're pregnant and scaring someone that way. Or, I was kind of Googling up some that like there's April Fool's pranks gone wrong, and like even faking someone's death, things like that are like really, really super deep. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
too far.
that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that's too far. Some of the other rules I noticed was reveal the prank. So a successful prank should be followed by a prompt reveal. It's considered bad etiquette to leave someone believing a lie long term. Do no harm. Pranks should be lighthearted, cause no genuine distress. Target wisely. Recommended to target people who share your sense of humor.
Yeah.
Nothing illegal. You can't use it as a license to break the law or commit like vandalism.
Yeah. Or
In
harassment.
the UK/Ireland, they have a thing known as the fool's errand, where a victim is sent to deliver a fake message. So I had a text from a friend today that her kids, and they live on a farm, they've got cattle, and her boys had messaged their dad this morning that the bulls were out, and
no.
dad, grandpa, and 2 hired men all rushed home to find the bulls were still in the pen. So that was a good one. It was over quick and it was funny. And so that was kind of a fool's errand fake message.
That's a good
In
one.
France, Italy, and Belgium, they have something known as an April fish, where a common tradition is to attach a paper fish to a victim's back. So you've been April fished, I guess. And in Scotland, they hunt a goat day. It's traditionally known as hunt a goat or hunt a cuckoo. Cuckoo, sorry, cuckoo. Yeah. So, anyways, I haven't seen any cuckoos.
No, I haven't seen anything like that either. So what is mine? Mine says the April fish hunting the gawk.
Gawk, that's
Hunt
the.
gawk. Is that the same
they have
thing?
wild goose.
Chase.
Oh, it came up different. Mine said hunting. It was finding the cuckoo. That's weird.
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Dina, they've played prank on you.
Yeah.
Right. Why does April Fool's end? Okay, there's a lot of interesting things on here. So yeah, you guys can go through and kind of search on your own some fun things. I'm sure there's different customs across the world, what's going on. And, by all means, go and comment. We were trying to get some comments on our posts of some of the other pranks that people may have in the past, what's going on. Dina, have you personally done any pranking? Are you a prankster? I have a feeling that you are.
I didn't this year. I have in the past. One of the best pranks I pulled, but it wasn't an April Fool's prank, but it was so good. And it took some building up. But when I was working with a farm inputs company, and they had a huge farm and a bunch of hired guys and whatever. I was working with an agronomist, and this lady and I shared an office, and they love to prank. So the one hired guy comes in, and he'd been moving snow, and he says to the lady I was working with, he goes, I don't know, I feel awful, but I hit your vehicle with the tractor.
Oh.
But it was a prank.
Yeah.
And so he was pulling these kinds of things. They're not often, but just enough to kind of go, oh, really? Or get us, we run out and there wasn't whatever going on in the shop. Mm-hmm. So we were a little bored. In the winter, it was a lot quieter, as you can imagine, around the farm inputs and crop inputs office. And I saw an ad for a gentleman in a nearby community. These are all little small towns in southern Saskatchewan. Who was offering you could hire him to be Santa. So we start cooking up an idea.
Yeah.
And we knew that this guy, he had 2 grown sons, and he was so excited because the boys were coming home for Christmas, and they were having a Christmas get together, and the boys' girlfriends, I think, were going to be there. And so he was just all excited about this day. So we put together this plan. We hired this Santa. We planned some funny gifts like big boy panties, like pull-ups, and a bunch of stuff. And we put together funny gift tags that would go with all these things, and they were all wrapped. And him and his family they're getting ready for supper, and a strange vehicle pulls in the yard, and who gets out but Santa? And he comes to the door and he says who he's looking for, and they're just all like, what is going on? Like, this guy's like 50 years old, and Santa shows up, probably for the first time in his life. Real Santa. So he comes in and he says, you come here and you sit on my knee, and I've got presents for you and all this. And
I'd
he
be
just
like, yep,
played
nope.
it right up. Nobody knew. And I want to say it was a year ago. I mean, a year later almost. It was at least 6 months later, but I think it was like a year later. And they were so sure it had to be us, and we totally played it off that we didn't know. Like, it was so good. And then I think it was his retirement party I think it's about a year later, we finally fessed up. And
we should have brought Santa back.
We should have. He's been asking everybody in his life for that long who it was. It was so good. And he loved it. Like, he loved it, but he was so mystified, and nobody could figure out where this came from. So that was probably my top prank that's the most memorable.
Yeah, that is so cute. You guys should not have fessed up at all. Just left it a mystery for his entire life. We just wanted
to see his face when he found out that it was us, and then he wanted all the details. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. I don't think I've really done any real pranks I mean, kind of. So
anything you can tell us?
I know my mom is watching, so
it's unfiltered.
Well, okay. So once upon a time, when I was younger, I had snuck out of the house late to meet up with some friends, and needless to say, we switched for sale signs in the neighborhood. So, the little swinging for sale signs. So we would take it wasn't like we didn't do any property damage, okay, but we just Remax and walked down the street with CIR realtors, and swapped them out a few, and so maybe moved a couple little lawn like flamingos and moved them over a couple lawns, and no, we didn't steal anything. We just swapped things out, rearranged the neighborhood a little bit. So that was
yeah. That's I think that's harmless and fun. I speaking of signs, that reminds me of another prank I did. And I was a young adult, and there was an election on, and the election had just ended, and I was coming back from working a night shift as a nurse, and I see one party sign, and of course the election's done, so they have to come clean those up right away. I think there's maybe a law against doing that, against removing them. So I didn't deface it or anything, but I went and pulled one out, threw it in the back of my truck, and then I went and put it on the front yard of somebody who was very, very staunchly against that party. And I don't think it's ever been revealed.
Until now.
Till today.
They know who we are.
Till today. You and I are busted.
If we get an email, well, it's hard to say, which neighborhood it was, how many years ago it was. It may or may not have been Remax and CIR Realty. It could have been other companies that had existed back then that may not be around now. Same with your political parties. It may have been a political party that doesn't exist now, right? You never know. You never know. So what do you think is probably, I don't know if you've ever had like the funniest prank ever that you've ever heard of in the world? Like, have you heard of just anything floating around that just is hilarious? Like anything on social media. Like I saw also today, there was a post saying, so here in Calgary, we have this beautiful blue metal ring that is so many
Pointless.
hundreds of pointless, so many hundreds
Well, it is
of feet
like it's
high,
round. Technically, it's
round,
pointless.
point, literally pointless. And then they're saying, oh yeah, how they want to implement more of these rings into the city for whatever reason. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like
They could
that,
do all the colors of the Olympic rainbows because they've had the
yeah.
Olympics there before.
Yeah. I mean, just strategically stick them all over the city and call them the
$1
Olympic
billion
rings
here,
and,
800 million there. Like,
you know, whatever. And then there was, there's been, you know, like you said, the kind of like the WestJet little fake news in the past. I think we've had news of whatever's like stores closing or, you know, oh, they're going to implement a Disneyland park here in Calgary. That was another one I heard a couple of years ago. And I was like, that'd be so great, but I know it's not happening. But I'm like, that'd be so great. Or like in Canada, you know. So I've heard those ones. Those are probably some of the bigger ones. But I think people kind of catch on a little more quickly nowadays that it's because it's April 1st, you know?
I don't know. I almost feel like some of these traditions, like St. Patrick's Day and some of those, are just kind of sliding to the wayside as a little bit more older traditionals.
Yeah.
Days that are observed and that people have fun with. It's like we're so overwhelmed with content and got to do the things and what's the influencer doing and I got to follow suit. And I don't know if that is contributing to it, but it really does feel like a lot of those traditions aren't necessarily a thing as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I'm curious about too is people who are born on April 1st and that's their birthday, because my daughter's birthday was yesterday. And I remember my brothers who were younger than me, they like when my mom told them in the morning on April 1st, your uncles for the like that was the first time, that's when they became uncles, when I had my oldest. And she's just like, yeah, your uncles. And they said, when was she born? Is she an April Fool's baby? Because they were worried that she was going to be teased about being, you know, as she grew up being an April Fool's baby. But no, she was born at 10:12 p.m.
Yeah.
And, you know, doesn't have an April 1st birthday. But there are people who do, and some love it and some hate it.
Yeah, I could imagine. I saw actually a few, again, on Facebook or a little earlier today, because I was kind of searching around for content for this show and just kind of see what else was popping up. And there are a few people that have birthdays today. So I can't imagine, like, you know, telling your friends, oh yeah, my birthday is today. And they're like, oh yeah, ha ha. You know, what do you do? I would feel bad, you know, or you're invited to a birthday party and people think it's a joke.
Yeah, they think it's a joke. You know, it's honestly better than, and I know at least two, if not more, people who were born on February 29th on leap day, leap year day. So that sucks. You know, do you celebrate your birthday the 28th or March 1st? So you literally don't even have a birthday just once every 4 years. And that would be worse. They're super young. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew someone who was in my elementary school and he had a birthday on the February 29th. And I remember, I think there was one year and he had his birthday and we're like, oh, how old are you now? And he's like, I'm like 4. And we're like, what? Like that made 0 sense, right? And then he kind of explained, well, my birthday is on the 29th and we only have it every few years. So, you know, or he might have only been, yeah, like I think
he'd have been 16, say.
Whatever he wasn't very, like he was under 10. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay. Like how, again, it's one of those things that it's believable or not believable, but show your birth certificate and hey, look, like I'm only you
Yeah,
know?
like Kyle's birthday's on Christmas Day.
Yeah. That
That
kind of
and
falls
that's
into
all
that
that's all
same,
he's known. And people go, "Doesn't that suck?" He's like, "Well, I don't know. That's all I've ever known."
yeah,
Right? So I try
yeah.
and make a big deal of Father's Day because that's halfway through the year then, and at least, there's something
You get
special to
a bigger
celebrate halfway.
celebration.
But there was
Yeah.
a family I used to babysit for them, and the dad's birthday was on Valentine's, the mom on New Year's Eve, the oldest girl on St. Patrick's Day, the next girl on Christmas Eve, and then the baby was the day before my birthday, which wasn't a special holiday, but it was easy for me to remember because the day before my birthday. So I was
Yeah.
like, what are the odds?
Landing on, well, it's just like I've heard of people having the same birthday in families, and it's just like that following year or a couple years, and it's like the exact same day.
Exact
And
same
there's
day.
been like 3 or 4 family members on the exact same day of the year, not same year, but
Yeah, same
So
day.
again, people like nowadays it's like it's hard to believe. You're like, no, there's no way that that could happen or whatever. So it's really interesting. So I kind of feel for those that do have those special day birthdays, and then of course April Fool's Day of all days, because
Yeah.
like people would think it is like a total joke or whatever, unless they've been pretty adamant going like, no, it's my birthday. Or I suppose you could do kind of like the Christmas birthday and go, hey, we're going to celebrate it maybe a week before, or with April Fools, maybe you celebrate it tomorrow or the day before and go, hey, like my birthday is actually this day, but we would like you to come this day so people take you more serious and actually come to your birthday party. So,
I
I
think
think
another
actually
fun
before would probably be better than after, because if you got an invite like on April 1st, oh yeah, my birthday is today, but you're invited tomorrow, you probably would
yeah.
still think it's in that category of the prank, right? So I don't know. I think that's what I
I
would
think
do.
another good prank, Carrie, is when you say, like, you wake the kids in the morning and go like, "Yep,
It's
no
Christmas.
school today."
Yeah,
Eh.
no school
April
today.
Fools.
Sleep in. But then that
Yeah.
could backfire big time, because then you're maybe late for school and the kids think they can sleep in, or if it's on a weekend, then you could prank them saying, oh yeah, there is school, and I have to get them up and get them ready and take them to
Oh.
school, drop them off, leave there for half an hour or something, go get a coffee, go back.
That
I
sounds
know.
wicked. Mean.
But is it? This wouldn't be for very long, like obviously.
Yeah. I'd rather make their day and give them 10 minutes of thinking there's no school today, but then break their
Yeah.
hearts.
Oh, see, that's worse. That's worse. You said I was mean. That's really mean. That is horrible. I'm gonna see if I can find
What
this
other
really
food
quickly.
swaps have you
Oh,
heard of?
food swaps. Well, we all know it's always the sugar and the
The toothpaste
and
Oreos would be
yeah, the
disgusting.
toothpaste and Oreos. That would be really gross. Um, Black pepper, and I know there's one with black pepper, and just switching with something that looks very similar to black pepper. Black pepper.
You could do it. Coffee.
I can do
Can you
it.
imagine if you made coffee with black ground pepper?
I'll be over here. Oh yeah, that would be, or you like pour it all in.
Even smell right perking.
I would sneeze. You'd be filling up the cup and you'd be like sneezing your ass off, because it's like
Yeah.
on the pepper. I don't know about you, but I'm very, very sensitive to black pepper. Like I could put on very minimal on my food and I'm like already sneezing, and I'm going like, why? This is like, and then same with onions. I could be somewhere and I could just be like, oh. So, oh, that could be another one too. Is like cut up onions
Onions and
put 'em on.
apples.
Oh yeah. Oh, like an apple salad and put. I mean, well, that might not be too bad, but like applesauce and it's like onions, like
Nasty.
Horseradish has always been like mixed up with,
Wasabi is pretty obvious. But
oh,
you could say it's avocado.
avocado.
Here, avocado toast, and it's wasabi.
I just die. Or any type of like hot sauce or barbecue sauce, you can always
Right.
swap those out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be horrible. What other
Yeah, hot
foods? I don't
sauces would
know.
definitely be.
I haven't really heard of too many food ones. Like it always seems to be kind of like a joke, like the old snake in a can. I don't know. Maybe we're
Yeah.
aging ourselves. Who knows? You can pretend to hand someone the phone and, somebody is on there and it's just a joke or something, or you call someone, tell your boss you're sick or something, and I don't know. I can't think of anything really good ones. I'm horrible at
I
it.
heard there was a swap I did read about that said, but man, talk about how invested do you want to be in this prank? They
Yeah.
rewrapped Ferrero Rocher over broccoli.
Oh my goodness, that's clever.
Like, yeah, but
But
some of
did they
these are
pour
pretty
chocolate
involved.
over it too? Like you
Oh
have
man,
chocolate
you could get really, yeah,
or the
down in
chocolate
the
over
weeds with
top?
this. Chocolate covered broccoli. What a waste of chocolate. But anyways, yeah. Even if you just did two and had Ferrero Rochers out for
Yeah, like the little small pack of like the 2-pack or 3-pack they have in the store. Put the broccoli in there. Oh my goodness, that would be absolutely,
yeah,
that'd be
be
horrible.
gross.
Um I've bought something before and I was thinking, oh, it's milk chocolate, and it ends up being like dark chocolate. Like, yeah, I think it was a Kit Kat bar. And they're always like milk chocolate, right? And I went, I don't know, I think it was like the dollar store. And then I was like, oh, I'll just quickly grab a little treat, and went back home and I opened it up and it was like the dark chocolate. I was so disappointed. I was like,
Really? I love dark chocolate.
not on a
But
Kit
yeah,
Kat. Like,
but you
when
think,
you're programmed with milk chocolate to
yeah,
certain items, and
fair
then it's
enough.
like dark chocolate and you're like, no, like, no. And especially when you look forward to it, it's like Reese's peanut butter cups. Like, can you
Yeah,
imagine dark chocolate and Reese's peanut butter cups?
that'd be good.
Hell no.
I like dark chocolate. And actually, I found it was around Christmas time, I think. They had Reese's with a layer of caramel, Reese's
Oh
cups
yeah,
with a layer of caramel in there.
I could do
And it was
that.
very subtle. I was almost disappointed, but I love caramel and
Right.
chocolate. I
So I
did
mean,
look,
you could slowly fix, like, swap things out on that end and put something else other than caramel. You could put like sweet and sour sauce
yep.
in instead of caramel.
I found something here that we talked about earlier.
Okay.
It's called the long con idea. So this is these long build up, like what the radio station did. So
Oh, I love that.
convincing someone there's a new AI powered barbecue grill or a smart alarm that does something totally ridiculous, or a daily fact swap. Casually share. Now, this is for the week leading up to April 1st, and then reveal the fake on April 1st. Is casually share false daily facts like your left ear grows faster in March, and share whatever. And then, so that's like the long con. And then photo swaps was similar to what I mentioned, but replace all family photos with celebrity pictures.
Well, I've often seen where the wife will go and put their husband's photos in like Walmart. They'll go in earlier in the day and swap out. Like they'll just stick it, like there's the photo frames for sale,
Yeah.
and they'll just stick in like their wedding picture or whatever in like just one section. And then it's like takes a little bit for them, like, oh honey, we need to go look at photo frames. And then they go to that section and all of a sudden it's like they're like, why is our picture here? Like, so I've seen that. It's like
Can you imagine if
regular
somebody bought
media.
that frame before they got over there?
Look at this lovely couple. Well, I mean, no harm, no foul, I guess.
Hey, I know those people.
Those are our best friends. Look at that. They're working with Michaels now, and they're
Yeah. There's other pranks that involve vehicles. So one my daughter's best friend did for her grad, the morning of their graduation from high school, and her friend lived right across the street. Sometime she had put notes on a stacks of Post-its, and they were covering my daughter's car. All these notes. And I've heard of people filling cars with balloons.
Yeah.
So you go out to get in for work in the morning and your car is full of balloons.
You could see them though, and that would kind of,
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
fun.
it would be, it'd be fun, but then it's like you walk to your car and they're like, oh, balloons, right? But
Well, and then the neighbors call the cops because you're popping all these balloons and they think somebody's out there with a machine gun.
I just drive around with my window open.
And then you
All
get
the
a
balloons
ticket
just
because you
automatically
don't
around.
have full visibility.
Oh, full
But
visibility.
officer,
But officer, how do you get rid
They're
of
clear
200 balloons? I'm late for
have a
work.
balloon.
Oh, balloon.
Yeah,
Oh, neat.
yeah.
That would be cute too, though. Yeah, I've heard of
Cool.
those, and then of course, like the worst ones where people cap the exhaust or something.
Yeah.
You know, if you're mad at your ex or something, and you put a
Yeah, there's some
banana
bad
in
ones.
there and some other water into the tank. Well, it's not even going there. So
Yeah.
those are some horrible ones. But yeah, I like the fun ones. We're just swapping things out and just like the harmless little pranks are a lot of fun. I really like those. And of course, you know, growing up, we did the old phone call pranks. Is your refrigerator running?
Refrigerator running, yeah.
Go
You better catch it.
get
That's
it.
hilarious.
Right? Yeah. So there's a couple of those, and we've actually done those. Mom, don't watch them.
Mom, plug your ears.
You never heard this. Yeah, so I've actually my sister really liked this one guy in school one time, and she didn't want to talk to him. So I was like, okay, give me the phone, I'll call him and pretend that I'm you. So I called him up and I was talking because we sound a lot alike, and he totally thought it was her and everything. I don't know what happened after that, but I don't know if she got embarrassed at school or whatever. But yeah, I was like, no, I'll talk to him for you. Like, not a problem. Under someone else, you know, easy peasy, whatever.
Yeah,
And
just
you're just on the
impersonate.
phone. You're not in front of them, so you know. About like the Nikki 9 door, the ring the doorbell and run. Those
And what was
pranks,
the flaming bag of poop or something?
like the poop on fire. Those are like the
Yeah.
mean ones. Those are really mean ones, but yeah, I think those have been in the past. I don't know, Mom, you're watching. You should know some. Get in here. Put some things in here. What else? Yeah, those are the only ones I can think of, but just the harmless ones I like. I like, you know, moving the vehicle, or like you said, put balloons in there. I like the sticky notes. You can put a bunch of sticky notes everywhere, or you could like put sticky notes and have like a scavenger hunt, but it doesn't, like, it just leads in a circle instead of actual. Like, make them like go out, go to the store, go pick up something, and be like,
Yeah.
you know, do the whole route, and then they come back and it's like there's no actual prize at the end or something like that. So, you know,
I really think this is where that rule applies about doing this to people who share your sense of humor.
yes, yeah, absolutely. Because otherwise, if you prank somebody that maybe you don't like or you don't get along with, I mean, that could just be, I mean, it could be interesting. Revenge.
Yeah, then who's going to be the fool? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I just don't want to end up in jail. Let's put it that way.
yeah, try and stay out of jail.
Yeah.
What has been going on in our worlds since season 7 ended?
Oh my goodness. Dina, you first.
That's a long time.
It's a long time ago.
It is a long time. We survived winter. It's officially spring now.
Okay, winter's not really over.
Well, nobody told Mother Nature, and I thought maybe Mother Nature had an April Fool's joke. I was hoping the Weather Network that was an April Fool's, that we're getting another snowstorm.
Yeah.
But it looks like that's for real, because noon has passed. They haven't revealed that it was a prank. So yeah, I mean, technically, this is like calving season. I just always think of that when, we get these spring storms, and usually happens when you're waiting to welcome some new little ones on the farm, and there's all these baby calves being born, and you're trying to keep them alive out in a snowstorm. And it isn't necessarily cold, but just heavy snow and wet and muddy.
In the middle of the night, though, it's quite cool still.
And
Like
but
we had
anyway,
-15 the other night, so it's quite cool.
yes,
So, with that coming up, it is a lot. So, yeah, well, I had eye correction surgery back in February, so I missed a couple shows. That's where I was, and a lot of my viewers already know that. So that was good and fun. So the ring lights are still a little bit bright on me, but it's not too bad. We're getting back into the mode of things. And then another not so fun situation. I actually got food poisoning a couple weeks ago, so that was jokes on me for. I'm not going to reveal where I was, but yeah, it was a bad sandwich that kind of went wrong. And yeah, I was sick for a couple days, and I had missed another show a couple weeks ago again. Actually, was not last week, the week before. So other than that, I mean, the shows are going on. Oh, and I did a group radio show last weekend on Saturday. That was the very first for me. Well, I did my channel connection with Linda. We had a group podcast, and we did some channeling and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. But this was the first group radio show, so we're building up on that. We're going to do that quarterly, so that's fun and new and exciting. What else? Got a couple inches off my hair today, going into the spring and freshening up. What else is new? Well, the snow, I don't know, that's not new. So that's about it. And I have another surprise, which I can't disclose yet.
Ooh.
I don't want to post it today because it's April Fool's, and I don't want people thinking it's a joke. So it'll be posted, another thing. So it's a nice little project that I've been working on. So, which has finally come to fruition, which is fabulous. So
stay tuned, folks.
Right. Well, I just also have to do a little marketing with the content of that, and I want to make sure it's up to par before I'm posting it. So yeah, that's about it. So
good.
Yeah, it's cool and fun and exciting. And then of course this show is back in the books, so that's new and exciting and wonderful. And I always look forward to this because we have so much fun. Just love it.
Well, if we can't give people something to laugh, if they aren't laughing with us, they're laughing at us. And so either way, they're going to get some fun and smile and laugh. And we're here to entertain.
Right. Absolutely. So I do want people to go and actually do some research on April Fool's Day and see what's out there. And because it is, I like having the history. And we've done this before in shows previous, just kind of looking up the history of things and learning about it, because I think it's a lost culture, like you said, Dina.
Yes.
Well, you just sort of were losing it. And like, how can we do these things for fun and brighten people's day and, and kind of keep the traditions alive? Because like you said, I think it's just slowly leaving our culture, and it's not like, I want to see more of it, have fun with it, but,
Well, and I feel like when people learn more about the history, or, I mean, yes, sometimes history shows us why we shouldn't continue doing something, or maybe do it a different way and be more sensitive. But things like this, like April Fool's, no harm, it's for fun. It's, involves some pranking. So find out a little bit more about it and have fun with it, and then get interested in why are people doing this? What is the story behind it? Where did this originate? It's fascinating stuff. And even now with a Google search, you just drop that in there and you're going to get some fun facts. And if nothing else, it's a great conversation starter.
Right. And then going back to the history of it, because I did Google search it before, like we're like, oh yeah, we'll do April Fools as our kind of, first show back. When I actually Googled it, because I wanted to know a little bit more of the history on it, before it was actually like the first day in the Gregorian calendar, I believe it was, that it was like the first day of the new year. So
Oh,
yeah, that was like one of the things I put on our notes for the show was Googling that up. I don't have it up now, but yeah, so in years past, today was actually noted for being the first day of the year. So, however, it got switched over the years. I wish I kind of kept that note out. But anyway, over the years, it had swapped to being like the actual like New Year's Day that we know now. But before, and that's why, like, oh, okay, joke's on you because, this is actually the first day of the year, not New Year's Day. So it makes kind of more sense having this as the first day of the year because this is like our spring renewal.
like spring.
You're coming in, things are fresh, things are going on. And don't you feel like this is more of a new year
Yes,
coming in?
absolutely.
Yeah. And like Easter's coming around the corner. So those of, that are Christian, there's like the resurrection's happening, if you believe in that. So it's like another beginning of things, if you will. Others traditions are just, again, like the fresh start. It's spring. We're going into like a new renewal and we cleanse everything. And it's, and the full moon is today too.
Full moon is today. And I mean, it isn't the entire globe that it's spring now, right? Like our neighbors
Right.
on the bottom half are in the opposite side. They're into fall, but still there is a sense of renewal and starting fresh and just having that reset, I guess, if you want to consider it that way. So
Yeah.
April 1st, that'd be cool to have that as a New Year's, I think. In fact, that is a great segue to what we're thinking of doing in 2 weeks for episode 2 of the Shift Happens show, season 8, is spring fever. We're going to talk about all things spring and talk about spring fever and spring cleaning, spring refresh. Like, what is it a thing? Like we were just talking about how is winter really over? Because it's still cold at night. It still keeps snowing. It still feels and looks like winter, except on those days that are warm. It's really nice. But yeah, we're going to be doing more digging into spring fever.
I like that. Because I think, again, a little bit more history on, what actually happens during spring, why it's called spring, maybe. There's a lot of interesting facts that happen behind things. But I think if we also have some, some interesting things going on, but like maybe the viewers can tell us, what they do during spring. Do they have annual things that they do? Maybe they go on a road trip to celebrate spring. Maybe they do the old clean out the house or some other weird traditions that they have.
Or shave your legs.
Shave your legs. I did that. This morning.
Our spring shift. What do you do for spring when you come out of hibernation?
So I wash my hair. But I do love, going into spring, and I don't want to get too much into it because that's gonna be our other show. But just I like the whole clear out of things and all that fresh start. And here we go. Let's get into spring, and But yeah, let us know what you guys like to do during spring break, or what do you guys do? Do you have traditions? Do you shave your legs annually? Is that it? Like, or what do you do? So you guys can
wash your long johns once a year, need it or not.
Wash your winter coats. I do that. Right.
So what would the shift be that we can share with people today about April Fools? My thought is that a couple things is get curious about some of these old traditional days that, what are the roots? Are you interested in celebrating them, sharing them with your family or your colleagues? But I think the other shift is there a way, you don't have to wait for April Fools. Are there some fun little things you can do to add some safe, funny pranks in the odd day? Show your sense of humor and lighten the mood in your home or your office appropriately, but have some fun. I think just shift your mindset from head down, go hard, what's going on my phone, to have some fun pranking humans. And I mean, prank has a negative connotation, but let's shift it to be fun.
Yeah, I love those. I'm 100% on board with that. And even in your own families as well, teach your children about it, how to play safe with it, how to be, family friendly, and, do it safely with your friends as well. Because you want to teach them, because they're obviously going to be doing it for many years as well. So you want to make sure like they know some of the rules going in, and make sure like the kids also know, hey, if you're going to school on April Fools, like listen to your teachers, and if there's maybe like kind of see the rules at school, because sometimes the teachers will allow pranks on them and some don't. Like some teachers will actually prank their whole class. So I love that. Like I would be one of those teachers that's like, yeah, let's go full force. And you guys have till noon, do whatever you want, have fun with it, because it also sparks imagination. Right? You got to think outside the box a little bit, and like, how can we, it gets them thinking, and it gets like, it's like a group project as well. So when it's like a school or at home, they become a bigger event, and you can again lead up to it. So it's not just like one day. It could be like, okay, yeah, let's get mom, or let's get
partner
dad.
up.
And then the kids can like switch teams and be like, well, we're getting dad. Let's get mom too, and they can do a double whammy, right?
The other thing, Cari, I think it has people consider, it gets them more curious. So the best pranks are the ones that are going to be relevant to that person. So telling me there's no school today doesn't matter. I'm not sending kids off to school in the morning. So that prank, but to be curious and know what are people's interests, what kind of prank would they find entertaining? So it makes you connect with people better and more observant of those around you, so that you can have the most effective pranks or fun together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Digging in or knowing like the personal history of someone, and like what they don't like, but having a fun twist on it, and just like, I love when you can pull a prank on someone and they just want to get you back. And it can be like an ongoing process that it's like, and it's like, well, I'll get you, but I'm not going to tell you when. And then people are like on edge for like days.
We really want to caution people, like, again, appropriately, not over the top, but it's the same as any other joking around. Don't dish it out unless you can take it back.
Ooh, yes. That's a really, really, really good rule right there. Don't dish it unless you can take it. 100%. I love that. So I guess that will wrap up our show. I hate to do that, but April Fools. We should have had it at noon, and then no, it's okay. But it was fun and informative as always, and we can't wait to be back in a couple of weeks for the spring break shifts. What are we going to call it? Spring fever. There we go. I'll get it eventually. I was going to put like, oh, we're season 1. I was like, how can I prank Dina? And I was like, well, if I don't show, but I'm like, no, I have to show up because I have to run the program.
Yeah, you're running the stream.
So I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'll just wear my glasses and have some fun with it. So that's all I could think of. But yeah, so with that, guys, we hope you have a great rest of your April Fool's Day. I guess traditionally it's over, but perhaps you're working all day and you can't prank anyone, then I say go get her. I mean, why not?
Have fun.
Have fun. Okay, over now. Good night, guys. See you soon.